Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. For those waiting in the corridors, don't be shy, come inside, there are plenty of seats available. So, welcome everyone for the last session of today in the Innovation Forum. And a session particularly important because it will be dealing with a partnership beyond 2027. So what should we expect? What we need to work on for 2030? And before giving the floor to the panelists, I would like to remind you a few things regarding the partnership. For those who do not know us yet, we are a public-private partnership with stakeholders, European Commission, industry, research, Hydrogen Europe industry, Hydrogen Europe research, and we have also advisory bodies, the state representative groups and the stakeholder groups, which help us to co-construct working programs. We've been funded in 2008, and since our inception, we have been funded 373 projects with 1.63 billion euros of fundings. This amount has been topped up by the same amount of contribution by the private sector. Let me remind you with two figures the importance of innovation. In the IEA recently stated that 35% of the clean technologies that will be needed by 2030, 2035 do not exist yet. So we still need research and innovation to bring this technology on the market and to make sure that it will benefit to the European hydrogen ecosystem and supply chain. Second figures, €1 spent on research and innovation equals 11 euros of value creation. So you see the direct link between how much we can invest in research and how beneficial it will be to a European value chain. So let me call on stage our distinguished speaker for a keynote speech, Mrs. Joanna Drake, Deputy Director General of DG RTD from the European Commission. Joanna, welcome on stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Among the cacophony of noise that there is out there, but it's certainly an honor to be speaking at the Hydrogen Week today. And may I also extend, on behalf of the European Commission, a warm welcome to all participants, experts, and stakeholders from across Europe. May I particularly give a warm welcome to the panel speakers, Luigi, Danica, Valerie, and as yet another chapter of our fruitful cooperation under the Clean Hydrogen Joint Undertaking. And of course, Ioan. I hope I got the pronunciation right. Over the past few years, the Clean Hydrogen Partnership has made tremendous progress in driving innovation, improving the cost competitiveness of hydrogen and creating a robust ecosystem for its deployment. And I want to commend the partnership for its tireless efforts in bringing together industry, research, and policymakers to accelerate the development of clean hydrogen. Through the partnership, we have seen numerous breakthroughs, from advancements in electrolysis and hydrogen fuel cells to the development of new business models and value chains. These achievements demonstrate the power of collaboration and the impact that can be achieved when we work together towards a common goal. Let's look at some of the notable achievements of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership, and we have seen significant reductions in the cost of hydrogen production, making it more competitive with fossil fuels, even if there is still quite a way to go. The partnership has also facilitated the alignment and subsequent creation of new collaborations between industry leaders, research institutions, and startups. These collaborations have led to the development of innovative technologies, business models, and value chains that are crucial for the large-scale deployment of clean hydrogen. While we have made significant progress, there are still challenges to overcome. We need to address the scalability, the affordability of clean hydrogen, as well as the infrastructure and regulatory frameworks required for its widespread adoption. However, I firmly believe that these challenges also present opportunities for growth and innovation, and with continued investment and collaboration, we can overcome these hurdles and unlock the full potential of clean hydrogen. The European Union has been a leader in the clean hydrogen revolution, and we are committed to maintaining our position at the forefront of this global trend. We are not only driving innovation within Europe, but also contributing to the global development of clean hydrogen. As we look to the future, we must continue to work together to create a level playing field for clean hydrogen, promoting fair competition and ensuring that the benefits of this technology are shared equitably. As we approach the next multi-annual financial framework, we call it MFF internally, I would like to emphasize the importance of continued investment in clean hydrogen research and innovation. The work towards the proposal for the next framework program for research and innovation, we are calling it again FP10 internally, is a very inclusive process. The Commission will involve the Member States, the regions, the local authorities, and all relevant stakeholders, such as universities, research organizations, industry, and the general public in their reflections. The European Parliament and the Council will assume their institutional roles in the process too. There are some important documents guiding our work towards FP10. The political guidelines for the next Commission, 24-29, and these confirm the important role of research and innovation, which are at the center of our economy. I'm sure you heard about Mr. Draghi and his report highlighting the essential role of research and innovation for Europe's future competitiveness. Enrico Letta is another name that comes into the fray because in his report that was published earlier in 2024, it underlines the importance of this domain too. On the 16th of October, the high-level expert group chaired by Professor Manuel Heitor delivered its report. It contains 12 recommendations that are now being analyzed by the Commission. The experts in particular recommend a budget of 220 billion euros, make concrete proposals where and how to simplify the program, and propose several new features such as the establishment of an experimental unit to test new approaches. The reflections on FP10 will be fed by several sources of evidence. To name just a few, there is the ex post evaluation of Horizon 2020, which was published in January of this year, the review and the assessment of missions and mission areas, and the interim evaluation of Horizon Europe. The ex post evaluation of Horizon 2020 has highlighted the strong added value of investing in research and innovation at European level, as well as the areas of improvement, of course. But one thing is interesting that has come out is that €1 invested in Horizon 2020 will bring €5 of benefits for EU citizens by 2040. As regards areas for improvements, the needs for further simplification and for broadening participation feature very prominently. The proposal for the successor of Horizon Europe is directly linked to the proposal for the next multi-annual framework. In line with the political guidelines for the next Commission, it will aim at a more focused, a more simple, and more impactful EU budget. A proposal should be tabled before the summer of 2025, a date to keep in your diary. It is therefore expected that the proposal for the successor to Horizon Europe will be published after the MFF proposal in mid-2025 or the second half of 2025. This allows to include the strategic steer of the new college that will likely take the duty at the end of 2024. Until then, the Commission will continue the reflection. It will continue the analysis and the outreach process. We are interested in hearing as a broad range of views as possible. We have already heard some key views that will take a role in this. For example, we hear the strong call for a simplification of the program, as much as the accessibility, as well as the architecture and the administration. We are therefore reflecting to what extent simplifications would be indeed possible, based on the evidence collected in the ex post evaluation of Horizon 2020 and the midterm evaluation of Horizon Europe. Simplification is also very much emphasized in the President's political guidelines. We are aware that many stakeholders ask for a balanced framework program that allows for the whole bandwidth of research and innovation, and also across all the TRLs, the technology readiness levels, from basic research to close to the market research and innovation. The President emphasized in her political guidelines the fact that both groundbreaking fundamental research and disruptive innovation are key elements to make Europe more competitive and should be in the heart of our economy. Stakeholders are furthermore asking us to reflect on how to tap into the full potential of synergies between the framework program and other funding programs. Here as well, we are looking very carefully at the conclusions to draw from the evidence gathered in the two evaluations. On a more general note, R&I investments in the EU fall short of aspirations and are lower than those of many global competitors. R&D spending stands at around 2.2% of GDP, well below the 3% objective. We are reflecting how FP10 and the next MFF, more generally, can help make progress towards the 3% goal. Of course, this cannot be shouldered by the EU budget alone, but requires a shared commitment between the EU, member states, and private actors. For the EU side, the President has confirmed in her political guidelines that we shall increase our research spending. Further important points evolve around international cooperation, economic security, and the security of research itself. The importance of these aspects is reflected in the political guidelines and will therefore steer our thinking too. I am sure that you have many very interesting thoughts about this, and I'm looking forward to hearing your reflections in the panel today on the priorities for the next framework program. In conclusion, I would like to commend the Clean Hydrogen Partnership for its outstanding work in driving innovation and progress in the clean hydrogen sector. The energy transition is, first, a green and just transition. There is no bigger risk to any business than the risk of not having a habitable planet in the decades to come. At the same time, thanks to the work done in the past years, green hydrogen is no longer an emerging technology. We are reaching the gigawatt scale of capacity production. We are about to reach the first 100 valleys in the Hydrogen Valley platform, and several countries have already their own hydrogen strategy. We trust, therefore, that the way forward relies on, first, strategically bringing together different activities and funding streams. Second, that the private sector is willing to continue taking the initiative. And third, as we colloquially say, put your money where your mouth is. As we look into the future, we must continue to build on these achievements, address the challenges ahead, and I would say jointly address and seize the opportunities presented by this technology. I urge all participants, stakeholders, and policymakers to join forces and continue to plot together and to push the boundaries together of what's possible with clean hydrogen. Together, we can create a brighter, more sustainable future for Europe and the world. Therefore, let's continue to work together to make the clean hydrogen revolution a reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Now it's time for me to call on stage our panelists. So I will start with Danica Maljković, Chair of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership Governing Board and board member of Hydrogen Europe Industry. Welcome, Danica. Next, Luigi Crema. Luigi is president of Hydrogen Europe Research, so the other leg of the private sector. Welcome, Luigi. And last but not least, Iordache, the chair of the Clean Hydrogen GU States Representative Group, which plays an advisory role within our governing board. And thank you for being here. So starting with research, I have a question for you, Luigi. Could you frame a little bit and summarize which are the key achievements of a current joint undertaking, of course, building up over what has been done since its inception in 2008?
Thank you. Thank you for the question, Valerie. Yes, we are at the third joint undertaking. Each joint undertaking had its own objectives. The first one was more related to fuel cell development, micro co-generators, even starting to deploy initial mobility technologies. And the second one was scaling up the process we had in the first. The Clean Hydrogen Partnership is the first program that is looking to the overall value chain, even trying to give a dedicated support, particularly to electrolysis technology development, and even to facilitate the development of technologies for the end users, and to find solutions for storage and handling of hydrogen, particularly in some specific sector of the above and particularly underground storage. What are the results? The results are that today in Europe we have some mature technologies that have been further improved, the alkaline and the PEM electrolysis, just to make an example. And in the solid oxide technology, Europe is almost in the forefront. So there have been several enterprises that have had the opportunity to scale up and bring solutions to the market, and even realizing the initial manufacturing plant at an industrial scale. This could not have been possible without the support of research, of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership, to mature the technologies and achieve durability, performances in this kind. But we are even supporting two new technologies in electrolysis that could have a chance to reduce the critical raw materials even almost to zero. For example, the anionic exchange membrane electrolyzers at the low temperature, and the proton conductive ceramic electrolyzers at the high temperature that could even embed additional features like having compression features, separation, purification features, as well as co-synthesis of additional carriers, for example, synthesizing ammonia from the electrolytic cell itself. We even launched in the partnership 3 strategic research challenges, so long-term initiatives, 5-year in duration, involving most of the European stakeholders in research. One was related to reduce to a minimum the critical raw materials like the iridium in PEM electrolyzer, finding maybe new ways of printing the iridium in inks, in nanostructures, in novel forms of manufacturing the electrocatalyst, and even substituting the fluoropolymer membranes. The second is developing novel advanced materials for hydrogen storage, alternative materials than the ones we know, for example, carbon fibers to store hydrogen. This is much important for the above ground storage. And the third project was related to improve durability of electrolysis and fuel cells. And this being done, taking from the field full-scale stacks, analyze the stacks and the degradation that happened, through the modeling, understand the degradation mechanism and develop then novel generation of materials that could solve the durability issue. This is of much importance, of course, for the capex intensity of the developed technology. One last other technology we have achieved important results is to store hydrogen in depleted gas basins. This could become the first energy reserve with hydrogen in Europe, being filled these basins from spring to autumn, and hydrogen to be used on a seasonal way during the autumn, winter mostly. We qualified in several initiatives the degradation mechanism, either on the biological or chemical or structural point of view, and there's a new project funded that will make a real test in a real underground basis in Austria. For 4 times the basins will be emptied and filled with hydrogen to demonstrate that this is viable at the demo and full scale.
Thank you, Luigi, for this very comprehensive input from the research. Then let's hear the voice of the industry. Danica, how do you see research and innovation contributing to the competitiveness of the European industry?
Thank you for your question, Valerie. Hello, everyone. Research and development is certainly the cornerstone, the most important part that will contribute to the competitiveness. There is a certain feeling that R&D should. It's probably natural because this is emerging technologies. We are just starting our hydrogen journey, and there's a certain feeling from the industry that we might be playing catch up with R&D, trying to see what will be next, how to be there, what to do. So I think we should stop. First of all, we should stop thinking small. We should think big and make the ecosystem for this big wishes and targets we want to have. We need the hydrogen highways. We need the hydrogen hubs that will be completely dedicated to developing and demonstrating the technologies that we identify in R&D. We probably need to implement the newest AI methods and everything that can help us to save each of the molecules that we will produce, because we will need all of them. As well, being leader in R&D in hydrogen worldwide will help us set the standardization. So our global competitiveness will then rise in that way, because our standardization will probably be then taken over by other markets. We can lead this as well. We need solutions that are completely carbon neutral. So we shouldn't, in complete value chain, in a life cycle assessment, we should minimize the carbon footprint in order to reduce possible taxes somewhere else globally. So this upscale of R&D will certainly contribute to the competitiveness, and the main idea is we have to think big, and we have to be ambitious and to see how to get our ambitions to life. Yeah.
Okay, point taken for the next partnership. Ioan, you're the voice of the member states. So how do you see the added value of a partnership on the national activities?
Let's first to start with one thing. I start to be engineer in 2000, and I start to be research in the area of hydrogen in 2008. It's the same year when Joint Technology Initiative start to exist, beginning to exist. Now, I will make this combination between joint undertaking and states. But let us start step by step. Initially, the name was Joint Technology Initiative. After this, we discuss about fuel cell and hydrogen joint undertaking. So it was fuel cell and hydrogen. Now we discuss about clean hydrogen partnership. So in the first years of this project, discussion was more in the area of energy and then spatial mobility for energy. Because first was fuel cell and hydrogen. Now we discuss about hydrogen. The fuel cell not exist in our name today. That means a more inclusive approach. And this inclusive approach don't include only hydrogen for energy, which we discussed in 2000, 2008. Now we discuss, of course, about energy, we discuss about industry, we discuss about residential application, not only energy vector. We, hydrogen community, have now a mission. We discuss about climate emergency. In all our technology, we discuss about clean hydrogen. What means that? Means hydrogen without CO2 or zero CO2 emissions. So, next partnership, beyond that.
And that was going to be my question. How would you like to contribute even more in the next 10 years?
Yes, this I want. So, next partnership will be about cooperation between research, industry, European Commission, and member states. Till now, we member states was more or less like observators. In the next partnership, we need to be more active. And we start with this year, this exercise to make this annual report of a member state to try to find this synergy between members and the Clean Hydrogen Europe. So, Clean Hydrogen Partnership. So, in the next, beyond 30, we, member states, in a manner must be part of this partnership. I don't know exactly how in this moment, but it's clear that is need a more active correlation between national programs, European programs, also other regional programs, because synergy means also local cooperation between country and between actors. So, I suppose, and we want that in the next, beyond 30, memberships to be part of this partnership, not only at the, let's say, consulting group or advisory group, just to be part active with rights and obligations.
Okay, so you want that, we hear you, you want to have more skin in the game. Industry has already a lot of skin in the game, but maybe, Danica, you could share with us how we could even bring more value out of this partnership, bonding even more between European Commission, research, industry, and from the industry side, what will be the priorities that you see on which we need to focus?
What will be the priority? Probably the first priority is to find a way to make the cost reduction, to make our technologies and products as competitive as possible as soon as possible. As well, on the other side, to make to somehow streamline the market creation. So we need some industries to lead. Is it heavy-duty vehicles? Is it hard-to-abate sectors? Actually, this demand should even be maybe artificially made in order to uptake the industry. We need infrastructure, certainly, yeah. without infrastructure, we will just be this small story, so not thinking big. In order to connect both the demand and supply and to have the ecosystem integrated in an overall energy ecosystem. I think we are lacking certification. In my country, we really don't know exactly how to develop a project in hydrogen, what is needed, how is this hydrogen treated, is it energy carrier, do we need to have certain permits, licenses, what is there to be done in order for it to really live, and this is probably the first projects we'll have to push this in each of the member states countries, in each of the regions. I believe we need skills. We lack skills. Yeah, we need to create these jobs that and to find skillful workforce to do all of these prior priorities I mentioned. And I think we need public-private partnerships. Yeah, regions should say what they would like to have. The Commission should hear, and industry should support. So we still need to go to even make this partnership maybe stronger than it was before. Yeah.
And big, large scale, thinking big.
Yeah.
Luigi, on the research side, same question to you, but if we had to focus, what will be the priorities that you will have on your list when it comes to research?
Skills first, right?
Yeah, a first comment before giving the priorities is that, of course, hydrogen, even thanks to the results of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership in Europe, has an important acknowledgement of competitiveness. In the Draghi report, there's a picture with some bubbles, and these bubbles, the bigger the bubble, the more competitive is Europe compared to other countries, and the bubble on hydrogen is very big. This is the Complex Technologies Index, which is summarizing the IP developed, the advantage on the technologies, the performances that technologies have, the related knowledge that is around this technology. To move forward, of course, we need to continue giving support to research, even continuing the research that we are doing in the Clean Hydrogen Partnership on some directions. So, for example, continuing the research in improving electrolysis technologies, in improving components for hydrogen logistics and storage, and improving the technologies for the end uses and the fuel cells. Particularly the fuel cells probably are in need of some better performances to be achieved. For example, at the same durability level, having more energy density, or increase the durability level of fuel cells from the present performances, even particularly in some hard-to-abate applications where there are some problems maybe today in having durability and performances at the same time. Then there's a second direction to intensify the focus on some key research. For example, on advanced materials. The advanced materials are at the core of improving the performances for the next generation technologies. As I was describing before, in the strategic research challenges, we are putting the basis, the knowledge basis, even for developing next generation technologies in the next steps. And we have quite a good basis today to give a direction for the development of the next generation technologies, which is even involving novel concept of cells and working with different new basic working principles, maybe not only involving or no more involving oxygen as a redox mediator, but finding new novel redox mediators that could solve the anode reaction in an easier way. Of course, there are then a list of cross-cutting issues, because one advantage of the public-private partnership is not only developing some vertical technologies, but creating a glue that could facilitate the introduction into the market of these technologies. For example, supporting pre-normative research that could collect data to prepare the standards in Europe or even at the global scale, or developing programs on skills, not only higher education programs for having new trained students, but even looking at some sectors that will decrease in job and occupation, for example, the oil and gas, and reskill these competencies in the hygiene sector. These are two sectors in proximity, one with the other. As well as looking to the sustainability and recyclability of the technology. So there's plenty of work to be done yet to keep competitiveness in Europe.
So we'll be very busy over the years ahead. Joanna, how will you react to the comments being made by member states, industry and research? Any additional input?
Well, I mean, it's interesting to hear firsthand, from the people who are close to the development of this market, if you like, what are the immediate and medium to long-term needs to develop a competitive market, first of all, and to create a demand. And also to identify the challenges that are ahead. And it's good that there is a sort of meeting of minds, if you like, by the sectors that we have listened to. And obviously, this means that there's still a lot, as I said in my opening remarks. There's quite a way to go. But we should not forget either that we are not operating alone, in the sense that we are operating in a global context. And whereas, it might be that Europe is really wanting to barge ahead and quickly for major impact on hydrogen, there are other parts of the world which might actually be about to step up even more the production of fossil fuels, simply because there isn't the same commitment. So this also, of course, increases the urgency of why we need to get our act together and to work much more closely together and plot together to really, step up and scale up as quickly as possible. This means that it cannot just be, the European Commission pushing through a partnership or through a joint undertaking, but it needs to be also with the attraction of further investment coming from the private sector, and also the taking maybe of some risks that need to be taken in order, to also create the demand. But it's all about prioritization. And I think if we look at the discussions that are still very at the early stage, of course, on the EU budget, you see that what the President said in her July guidelines, she said that she wants a very simple and impactful and a focused budget. And I think, it's all, the jury is out as to which will be the takers. And the ones that are going to be ticking the boxes quickly and most eminently and ready, to really take off. So this does not only depend on, what's the money, what's in it in the budget of the European Commission. But it's even more about, how concerted can we be as member states, as the private sector, in order to really concentrate on this technology and make it the main pillar of the transition towards a more sustainable future.
Thank you, Joanna. For those who have attended the other session I moderated, there's a question I love to ask, especially we're nearing the Christmas season. So look at me like if I were Santa Claus, okay, with my red hat and a bird. And then you have one wish each. And what wish for an accomplishment at the public-private partnership level for the next 10 to 15 years And this wish needs to be a game changer. Danica, we start with you. Difficult question, I know.
Difficult question, yes. Well, maybe the biggest wish would be to of course for industry to maybe expand the available funding. Yeah. So we now have 1 year call-offs, once a year call-off. Maybe this could be more intensive. Maybe make it 2 times per year. Sorry, 2 times per year. In order to have more topics on the table and more time to work on that. And on the other hand, we would like to maybe see more clearly, even through the partnership, this voice from the public partner in order on what to expect in the framework in the next years to come. Yeah.
Ioan.
So if I have a wish, it's a old discussion. You can see now all projects about hydrogen in Europe are very segregated. Are some country and some actors which apply and have a lot of projects, and a lot of the other country, especially EU 13, which are really not absent, but not important. This segregation is not healthy on the long term, because if we want to discuss about union, all these projects, of course not only in hydrogen area, but all this kind of project must be at least uniform distributed along all our European Union. We must avoid this segregation and polarization, because this will have social effect. And we must share and we must have projects. And I hope that with this new approach, Hydrogen Valley, we can build more hydrogen community along all Europe and along all borders of European Union, because are necessary to create connections. This is important to understand. Connections and a good distribution of the project and activity can avoid problem like migration, like economical development, and etc., etc. So this wish is a long-term wish, is a long discussion, of course, because we in Europe must understand we must have competitivity, but also cooperation. It's like a left and right. It's impossible to work only with one hand. We must be competitive, but also is need to have cooperation between us if we want to keep and to be face-to-face with United States, Asia, and other new emergent markets. This is my wish, to be all in the same, or to be the same from Berlin to Sofia, let us say, or from Madrid to Riga. Thank you.
Luigi, your wish.
Today and these days we have a very fantastic setup here at the Hydrogen Week. So everything seems ready on the startup, everything working well. In reality, when we go out here to develop the hydrogen value chain, there are still a lot of issues to be solved, not only from the research innovation point of view, but even from the industrialization point of view, from the market creation point of view. There are still a lot of gaps. And looking ahead, and with a potential market that it's in the phase of startup, and with the market, a lot of potential industries that may scale up the manufacturing, we have probably even a more complex situation where research and innovation, industrialization and market creation are not three full separate pillars. Research is connected, innovation is connected with market creation in the hydrogen valleys. Research and innovation is connected with the industrialization in the scaling up, maybe even introducing novel technologies to realize novel materials at the full industrial scale. So it could be important and relevant from my point of view and my wish that we could think all together, and the European Commission could take even this point, to have possibly a future program, maybe in the form of a partnership hopefully in the form of a partnership or a collaboration between some synergic programs that could bring all together under a single strategic view the research and innovation, the industrialization, and the market creation, without fragmenting this view in different directions.
You mentioned a very important point, which is synergies. In our main framework, regulatory text, synergy is part of our single basic act. Okay? Question to all of you. How could we foster even more synergies when we're thinking beyond the clean hydrogen partnership when it comes to addressing the challenge after 2027? Who wants to start?
First response is to be a clear definition what is a synergy, how we made and how we create synergy, and what means synergy like a dimension. Is a bigger, smaller synergy? Can a difference of synergy, can be types of synergy? Who, in fact, want this synergy? Because which I see and which I feel, we can work at 3 levels. Synergy between states, synergy between states and European Union and mechanisms which are available here at the level of European Commission, and second, interconnected synergy. Can be synergy between 2 countries, let's say, or 3, and European Commission, and can be this mix of synergy. Of course, who, from my point of view, like a country, interest is synergy of my country. From point of view of the other country can be the same. For a European Commission, say, okay, synergy from our point of view. So what means, in fact, a synergy? Because the question is really not new. What means, in fact, a synergy in this area? How will found it, and how we can put on the tar, and to see how heavy and how good is this synergy.
And Ioan, thanks for proposing. That will be the role and responsibility of a state representative group to come back with a definition of synergy for the joint undertaking. Luigi, Danica.
Yeah, fast reaction. This an example of a recent synergy is the European Hydrogen Bank with the European auctions that created an instrument participated by the member states in auctions as a service. So without a duplication, there's a collaboration between the European dimension of the European Hydrogen Bank and the member state dimension of the national auctions. I think looking in a wider picture, there are different competencies that are distributed at different levels, maybe even written in statutes, and this must be respected, of course, that would require different directorates, different member states to come to a same table and discuss how to put all the things together maybe with the private members of research, of industry, because all together, I think you said in the introduction in a very good way, €1 invested in research can create 11 euros of impact, but this could be a multiplied value when we are working all together. So I see maybe the GRTD, the GNR, DG Move, but even collaborating in this table with DG Grow and DG Crema, for example. Maybe introducing even the member states, almost all, we have 21, 22, maybe on Tuesday, national strategies approved on hydrogen, and the referent person...
Is it a scoop? You're mentioning the one which is
Italy,
the 22nd.
Italy
will come soon?
We'll have the first strategy and presented next Tuesday in Rome. And so the reference person of the national strategies could be at this table, together with the private sector and the universities and the research centers. There are common challenges to solve, and maybe all together we can find the best way to solve these challenges.
And it's
well, I think Ioan's question of what synergy is something to define, but as far as it can be understandable. There is actually a lot. I was surprised that there are a lot of different programs, not just Clean Hydrogen Partnership, that deal and develop projects with hydrogen, like Interact programs, Life program. You know, there are other programs where you can find some hydrogen within. There are different DGs that are partly responsible for the hydrogen eco market ecosystem. Maybe certain, you know, we now have STEP platform that will give a seal for the best technologies that we want to have. One of them is green and clean technology. So maybe hydrogen can be there, and if we have one top chapeau or umbrella where we will be all underneath, then we can track the synergies more. Otherwise, we need to communicate a lot, and it might be impossible to know what is happening. Yeah.
I would like to leave a last word to the European Commission. Joanna, if I may, one word. How do you see the years ahead? I mean, you already share many things during your keynote speech, but one impactful assessment, maybe.
So, as I said, it's early days, you know, for the next budget discussions are not even started, I would say. But there are many building blocks that are sort of forming the context and the background. And as I said, you know, the accent is on prioritization, the accent is on impact, and the accent is on simplicity. And whereas, you know, we of course acknowledge, and as has happened here, the benefits, or rather the achievements of the partnership of clean hydrogen, and of course this is taken into account, and we hope sincerely, because you asked for a wish earlier, our wish is that the achievements are acknowledged as being, you know, a key milestone in the journey towards establishing hydrogen as one of the mainstays of alternative and renewable energies for the transition. But of course, we need to still tick some of the boxes, and all this is the next part of the journey. The journey is not at the end. And synergies is one of the aspects that, of course, needs to be improved. And when we say synergies, of course, I mean, depends how we want to look at it, but when we look at synergies, we're talking about, first of all, synergies in governance, synergies in prioritization, but synergies also on the financial instruments and bringing the money together, putting your money where your mouth is. And if the member states need ideas of how to do that, perhaps they should start thinking also of their own regional funding and their own funding, you know, that they themselves want to prioritize, in order to have their chips on the table as well, together with the others who want to catalyze and move forward, if it is really a European priority that we really want to establish. But of course, all this needs to, all this needs a lot of meeting of minds and a lot of goodwill and also political will, not only the financial means.
Thank you very much. This session comes to an end, so I think our speakers really deserve a round of applause. And please don't leave, because at 5 o'clock sharp, we will start the Innovation Awards, so stay with us. Thank you.